What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Hot Take Friday here on Lights Camera Barstool. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel if you can and like the video, even if you hate our hot takes. People did not like Gooch's hot take last week about Spider-Man, about No Way Home being the worst of the three Spider-Man Tom Holland movies, but let's see what we got this week. Gooch, I think you're up first this week. One hot takey. I got to remind everyone. It's a hot take. It's intentionally hot take. It's intentional.
They didn't like last week's. They're not.
People react to these like we are coming at their fucking families. But you know that's the point of it. That's why we're doing it. So go ahead, Gooch. You're up first.
Yeah, all of our listeners' families. I'm just kidding. If they didn't like last week's, they will not like this one. Marvel's foray into live action television at this point, I don't think it's been as good as DC's with Warner Brothers CW. Outside of Loki,
so this is yes. let's simplify that. You're saying CW DC greater than Marvel Disney Plus.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that would be your Smallville, Arrow, The Flash, Superman, and Lois. That's a lineup that Marvel does not have. Outside of Loki, I do not think they have anything better than those four television shows.
I think if you look at this mathematically, you are correct. Like the ROI on a CW show that they pay their actors like a fucking bag of peanuts for, and they don't eat, they make it in like GIMP or one of those like free software things. Like that is so much greater than the ROI that Marvel is getting pumping $300 million into a show that everyone hates. So like in that sense, I think you're correct. But at the same time, like the heights of Marvel television are for the most part, it's greater than anything on the CW, but also it's like, the only thing I'd put up of like against Loki is like Peacemaker, and they're probably pretty close.
Oh, I even forgot about Peacemaker. Throw Peacemaker in there. Yeah, no,
that doesn't count. That's not Snow. You said CW.
You said he said CW and DC, didn't you?
Oh, okay.
CW and
I feel like
WB is what I said.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Because the channel they changed
Peacemaker
the name.
wouldn't count there. Yeah.
Dude, fucking CW had like a gorilla killing Obama. So like you can't. It's a very difficult sell.
Are we going to pretend that like Marvel hasn't had a lot of terrible shit on their television shows at this point?
A lot of dumb
I actually don't think it's this spicy
more
of a take.
expensive.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah, which is funny because this is supposed to be hot takes, but that's okay. It's all right. It's fine.
People will treat it like it's a hot take.
Expensive. And that is, I think.
No, go ahead, Ken Jack.
It's dumb and more expensive, which is where I think CW is like ahead of them in that sense. But like heights of television, like Loki's better than anything the CW has ever put out.
I'd agree.
Yeah, but then that number two, I think
if you're talking the whole
their number
package,
2 is better than like 90% of what CW has put out.
If you're talking the whole package, like I get it. I didn't even know if people were going to go at you that hard on this.
If I would go Loki, and then I would go Arrow. Probably Smallville, The Flash, Superman and Lois, and then I would get into the MCU television shows.
You put that over like because first of all you have to consider the werewolf thing. That's part of Marvel television. I know it was not like a structured TV show and it was just a special or whatever. That's part of that. That I would put over anything CW. I'd put Hawkeye probably over anything CW too. I really liked Hawkeye, and like. I don't know, man. It's like Arrow is like I don't keep. How do you put Arrow number 2 behind Loki?
Have you watched Arrow?
Yes.
The first 3 seasons are legitimately great television. It's not like perfect acting, but it's also a comic book television show. And it's not
great after that, though. And I know we don't have extended examples for like long-standing. Like, oh, what about the next season of Hawkeye? Like, we don't have that. But as far as like as it stands, like yeah, Green Arrow had great moments. It also had a lot of bad. So it's like kind of cancels each other out in a way.
I'm not budging on this one. This is a firm line until Marvel shows me more.
I'm on a different end of the spectrum here. I don't think it's that spicy.
No, yeah, I don't think it's like a crazy hot take or anything.
This is a perfect take then.
I think we should how we structure Gooch's take is we should post his ranking of those shows because that is what will piss people off the most.
Yeah, probably.
All right, yeah, that's fair.
All right, throw that out there.
All right, I guess I'm up. Ken Jack went first last time, so I'm up. I'm going to go Ryan Gosling based here. I think Ryan Gosling is not the funniest, the best comedic actor in Hollywood. I think nobody delivers comedic lines better than Ryan Gosling. That's my hot take of the week. I think
So
whether it's The Big Short, whether it's The Nice Guys, Barbie, La La Land, I think Ryan Gosling's delivering and acting with comedic roles and comedic lines is just, I think it's absolute top notch in Hollywood right now. I'm not saying of all time. I'm saying right now he's the funniest. He's the best comedic actor in Hollywood. Best at delivering lines.
I think that like if that is a tangible take, as long as you take out people that are from a traditionally comedic background from the equation. You know what I mean? Like you can't say like Bill Burr or something is included in this equation. But like as far as actors that are from like not from a comedy scene, I wouldn't think that is super crazy or anything.
But I'm going to include it for the sake of being hot take. I'm going to include everyone. Like I truly think, like in terms of delivering, I'm not saying he's the funniest. Like I'm not saying the funny person in Hollywood. Like if you said take your pick, Tim Robinson or Ryan Gosling, I'm going to take Tim Robinson. But like I think that like every movie he's in, I laugh at so much of what he says, almost solely because of how funny his delivery is compared to the lines.
Amazing.
Like it's just he is so good at that sense of flow and a script and deliveries and dialogue, and I'm sure some improv with comedy that is just it's not just like it's just crazy stupid love. Like it's La La Land. It's a serious movie like The Big Short. That's still a comedy to a sense, but it's also like an action comedy. I think he just has the chops. I think he's the best. Again, it's hot take.
We might be the wrong people to pitch this hot take to, because I think we are both very much in agreement that Ryan Gosling has been undervalued as a comedic talent in Hollywood for years now. And I'm trying to like rack my brain of people who are better than him right now. And I'm coming up with nothing. Like you brought up Bill Burr, but even then, as an actor, I don't think Bill Burr has the acting chops to
Honestly,
deliver.
Bill Burr's best role might be The Mandalorian.
Him and King of Staten Island is so funny.
Yeah, he is very funny. He's very good at King of Staten Island. That is very true.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that movie.
But yeah, no, Gosling, and I think it really just speaks. It speaks to the testament. If you're a good comedic actor, to flip it on its head, if you're a good comedic actor and have that ability to take any script and make it funny, you'll typically be a good dramatic actor as well. And I think that's just like understanding a script and understanding like just being able to act it out. I think that just speaks to Ryan Gosling's strength. He's a strong dramatic actor, so why wouldn't he be a good comedic actor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my take. Ken Jack, round it out.
Mine was one that kind of was like jumping off the back of our last news segment, and we kind of touched on a little bit there. I think there are a lot more reviewers out there getting paid for positive Rotten Tomatoes scores than we think. I think and it is not going to be dudes getting paid $50 to like review some movie that 10 people see. It's some things that are way more significant, in movies that are like trying to campaign for Oscars and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because there are you'll read some reviews and stuff like that of movies that are like in that contention, in that race, and they're getting big campaigns from studios, and like they struggle so hard and run these mental gymnastics to try to find a way to call a movie good. You know what I mean? Without trying to totally lose their credibility. And it kind of comes back to what we were talking about with shit like The Flash. Well, like they'll use these words that are really like kind of meaningless to the quality of a movie. You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Oh, it's it's entertaining. It's entertaining more than anything." And it's like, that's the only positive thing you can say about a movie. I don't trust that is like a truly positive review. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of like these weird words that people use when they like Babylon, another good example. Like they'll see like these weird reviews for behind those ones, and it's like it's there. Something's going on there, and guess what? Movie critics, unless you're like one of the top like 1% of people, like you're not making fucking money. If you're working for like Joe Blow Movies or whatever like that, like you're taking that money 10 times out of 10. Just how I feel like that's just how it's going to work.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I think that's pretty good, and that's obviously a thing that's now like a relevant news topic too. But also, like, there are there are things too, like there's such a weird like culture around reviews, especially after like screenings too, that always makes me pretty wary and hesitant. Honestly, like I said this too, people, I got like criticized when I gave Oppenheimer 100 out of 100. People are like, you gave that before you walked in. If you go back to our podcast stuff, I was kind of skeptical of Oppenheimer when the reviews came out, because it had that kind of same like copy paste feel to so many of the reviews, where it was kind of like, this is kind of like, I don't know about these right now. And like buzzwords were the same. Sentiment was the same. Also, when the buzzword is dense, I almost never think a movie's going to be good. That's never like a great sign. Ended up working for Oppenheimer, but no, I think that's a pretty good. That's spicy. I think it's a pretty good take. Also, I have to legally note we're not saying Joe Blow movies takes.
I just said that as a turn of phrase. I didn't mean the actual Joe Blow.
I know you did not mean that guy.
Joe Schmo. I've watched Joe Blow on YouTube before. Didn't mean them. Apologies. Did not mean
just legally clearing us that we did not mean that's not an attack on the actual account. Which,
you know what's funny is I was going to say Joe Schmo, and I was like, wait, no, that's a place on YouTube. I've watched some stuff before, and then I was like, oh, Joe Blow, and then right after I said it, I was like, oh, fuck, that's the place.
Just legal disclaimer. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I think like you know what movie probably dished out millions, made our industry rich? Fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. You think people weren't? You think critics weren't paying their bills with the cash they got from Brian May and company?
And like I know the next. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. The one that immediately comes to mind for me is Wonder Woman 1984. I think it's still. It's still at like 89% from critics, which is insanity.
I know that Rocket Man was a very different type of musical the year after, a music-based movie the year after, compared to Bohemian. But the fact that it had such a significant difference in the way people talked about it was, you're right. Like I think that's Bohemian's a very good example. Though Wonder Woman might be the better example, because that was like Bohemian. I think even if you hate Bohemian, you can't like objectively say it wasn't a horrible movie. I think it was just insanely mediocre and like average. Where Wonder Woman 1984 was like, holy shit! Like most people dislike that movie.
The difference between those two is like there is definitely like the sort of critics that are afraid to criticize certain things because they'll think they'll get called out by people being like, "Oh, you hate Wonder Woman 84, you're sexist, you're this, you're that, you're that," and it's like there is a portion of those level of reviewers where with Bohemian there really isn't versus Rocket Man, structurally speaking, as far as like what they might be afraid of. So that grouping, Brian May, he paid some bills. He paid some people's bills.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm not saying Brian May, but if there are any studios out there wanting to give me $50, listen.
Yeah, I'll take the money.
The rent is expensive here.
You want me to? You want me to wear the Nun 2 hoodie and call it the best movie of the year? I'll fucking do it. I will do it. I'm just saying we haven't been offered. We haven't been offered. People that's my favorite assumption about like us since we've done this. Like in the back pocket of
thinking they give a fuck about us versus like someone actually accredited with Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, again, like accredited at this point. But
the These Boys Are in the Back Pocket to Disney people were pretty fucking quiet after we crapped all over Vacation Friends, by the way. Vacation Friends 2. That's technically a Disney release. So
didn't say shit. Really weird how that worked out.
Didn't hear any complaints there, and I took my Vacation Friends 2 koozie and threw it over my shoulder and gave the movie like a 10 out of 100.
Dude, I hate to say it. I still fucking wear the bathrobe that the hitman's wife's bodyguard gave me. They sent me like a whole bunch of shit. I still use that bathrobe every time I shower.
Hitman's wife's bodyguard.
Dude, it's so funny. They gave me a duffel bag too. It's just a great duffel bag. It's like, what do you want me to do?
Good
Not
swag.
use it? It says Hitman's wife's bodyguard stamped right in the front, like as big as can be. And I'm just like, I don't care, dude. It's good duffel.
That's it. 3 hot takes every week on Fridays. Hot Take Friday. In the comments, yell at us. Tell us how fucking stupid we are. Same thing on social media. At Lights Camera Pod on Twitter. At Lights Camera Barstool on Instagram. Warning though, if you do it on Twitter, we're probably going to come back at you and call you stupid as well. Just a heads up. That's where we typically engage and call you dumb back. That's the fun here. That's it. Make sure to subscribe. Like the video if you can. For Ken Jack, Gooch, I'm Jeff Philo. We'll talk to you next time.